So the situation that I want to talk to you guys about is, I think you guys know by now. If you don't know, Jay-Z, the case with Jay-Z, it's been dismissed with prejudice. Not probably not the kind of prejudice that we're talking about, or or you think about initially when you hear the term prejudice, but dismissed with prejudice, right? And for me, it was a no-brainer from the beginning. It was a no-brainer. Obviously, when the charges came up, it was, like, you sort of looked at it like, huh? All right, you don't know any of the details, but it's one of those things where it's like, all right, cool. There's a possibility that something could have taken place, but then there's also a possibility that something didn't take place as well, right? And I think people kind of get lost in the sauce when it's time to go witch hunting, all right? But me, I'd rather have the facts, man. I'd rather have the facts. I don't like sort of condemning people before I have like any evidence that they've done something, right? Or, my bias would be based on someone's character, based on what it is that I know about these people. You know what I mean? Thrifty, how you doing, sweetheart? Lovely to see you, Thrifty. Lovely to see you. Lovely to see you. How's your day going today? Can you hear me? It's been a lazy day here. You know something? It kind of was a lazy day for me as well, but I'm gonna head to New Jersey in a little bit, probably within like another hour or so. But I just figured I'd just get on here and just speak about the situation with Jay-Z. Yeah, so, obviously, initially, when that whole situation happened, like, you don't know what to believe, right? And then everything that's been happening with Diddy, your initial thought is, oh, man, are they coming after all of the black billionaires? Is this something that he's been, that they all do behind the scenes? Like, you don't really know what it is to think, right? So it was kind of up in the air. And then, of course, me being somebody who listens to Jay-Z, or I listen to Jay-Z, but I get the gems of what it is that he's talking about, right? I extract a lot of the lessons, the life lessons, and the things that he's learned throughout his life that he blesses us with through the art. So, I've been listening to Jay-Z for a very long time. So, you tend to get a gist of who it is that you're dealing with. And there's a level of honesty as well with how he expresses, certain things that he did that were not legal on his songs, right? So he's going to tell you about the things that in the boardrooms will be frowned upon or looked down upon, right? He's going to tell you those things. But for me, I don't know. I just didn't really know what to believe initially. But then when I saw the evidence, right? When I sat there and I looked at the evidence, and I said, hold on. Nah, this is a very slim possibility that this happened. Because you want to give the benefit of the doubt to the victim because you don't know, right? And then there are people that are out there that are being affected by these things, right? And their trauma and the things that they've been through should never be used for other scam artists, right, to generate some extra income, right? Go get a job like everybody else, if that be the case, or find your passion. You understand what I'm saying? So for me, once somebody does something like that, I automatically lose respect for that person, right? Because it's like, here you are. And all right, so here's the thing. Here's my thing, right? So initially when I was watching the NBC, when she was talking about talking about it on NBC, I sat there and I said to myself, hold on. Well, the way how she's describing her experience, like she was describing her experience with autism, right? So I automatically started thinking to myself, oh, okay, so she's trying to find like a scapegoat right? She's trying to blame a condition for the way that she views the world, right? And then she kind of went on. She said something. She said, having autism, this is her experience, right? From her perspective, it's like living in a ball and the world is on fire and the fire is inside the ball. Like, that in itself didn't even really make sense. And there's no way for her to get out. But then what I extracted from that was, hold on, well, so we have somebody that's really troubled. If that is truly her experience, then that's somebody that's troubled. That's someone who feels trapped. That's someone who feels like they're trapped somewhere and they're unable to get out, right? So automatically, antennas started to go up, and it's like, hold on, all right, I don't know. I don't know if this is necessarily true. So then as she proceeded to speak about the case, or to speak about her experience, she started implementing certain details. She started implementing people, but then she started saying certain details that just didn't really make sense in reality. You know what I mean? And I'm looking at this like, hold on. Okay, all right, I see this for what it is. And then when she mentioned Benji Madden, and then I actually typed in Benji Madden, and I realized, oh, Benji Madden was a part of Good Charlotte. Oh, I remember Good Charlotte. Oh, okay, Good Charlotte was on tour in Chicago and on tour in the Midwest during the time when she accused them of being there and her of seeing them, right? So it's just a lie on top of another lie. She said her father picked her up. Her father didn't speak to her. Her father didn't ask her any questions. It was a 5-hour drive, not round trip, by the way, one way. And then what was happening in between that time? Like, it was just so many things that just wasn't clear to me. So I really couldn't sit up there and say, all right, cool. Yeah, Jay-Z, you're guilty of this. But there was a lot of people that were on the internet, right? There's a lot of people that were on the internet that ran with that false ass information, that ran with it and tried to really sabotage Jay-Z because they didn't like him. Look, you don't have to like a man. It doesn't matter whether or not you like them or not, right? If you don't like them for something that they did, fine. That's your prerogative. That's your opinion. Am I still here? Hold on, give me 1 second. Can you guys still hear me? Because I'm connected to this, and I don't want to disconnect it from. Hold on, let me see if I can access it from here. All right. Okay, you still hear me? All right, perfect. So, thank you so much, Thrifty. I appreciate you. But yeah, sort of listening to the details, a lot of the things that she said, it just didn't correspond with reality, right? And you have real people that have been through these things, and anybody that's doing these things to kids, I have absolutely no sympathy, empathy for. You deserve whatever it is that happens to you, right? On the flip side, anyone that's making up stuff like that about people, especially, it's already terrible if you know the person, but especially if you don't know the person, I equally do not have any sympathy for you either, right? My whole thing is this. Now that the case has been dismissed, I was already thinking to myself, like, any judge looking at this evidence that would find somebody guilty of this is just Satan, straight up and down. Like, there's no way you look at this evidence and you say, yeah, this person's guilty. My whole thing is this. Jane Doe was anonymous then. Jane Doe is still anonymous now. We still don't know who this person is. We still don't know who this person is that we should all stay away from. We still don't know who this person is that is very dangerous. We still don't know who this person is, right? And in my mind, the way I look at it, did this person decide to drop the charges not only because the evidence, and again, it was dismissed with prejudice, meaning that it can't be brought up again. She can't sue Jay-Z again for this thing, right? So this person that just came out, spread these lies, tried to Emmett Till Jay-Z, right? Emmett Till is a real thing. You guys got to look up the story of Emmett Till if you don't know about that whole situation, right? But that person tried to Emmett Till somebody that they didn't know. That person really tried to inflict not only emotional damage, it could have ruined his family. It could have ruined his legacy, all the businesses that he made. It could have just ruined everything. It didn't, but it could have. Because in the court of public opinion, people don't really care about the facts, is what this is just the cold, hard truth. And it sucks. People don't care about the facts. It's not the facts. It's how entertaining the story is. And it's how bad people want to project. And if they don't like you, they want to believe that you're a villain. Now, look, if somebody did something, fine. Don't like them for something that they did. But don't prosecute them. Don't go on a witch hunt. Don't try to sabotage them for something that they did not do. Like, for me, that's just evil. That's wicked. I don't know any other way to put it. I don't know any other way to really put that. Right? But yeah, I'm not going to say Jay-Z is the best businessman in the world. I'm not going to say he's not been accused of doing some very shady business deals and being like a shady person to deal with when it comes to business. But I think beyond that, I don't know. I don't know from my experience. Like a lot of times people will do business with somebody and expect you to have the same sort of relationship that you have with them on a personal note, and expect for them to sort of babysit you and all of that sort of stuff. So I don't really know what business practices that he's done that people have, certain people have such a problem with. But what I will say is this: regardless of how you feel about him in the business world, regardless of how you feel about his raps, regardless of how you feel about Jay-Z, right? Let it be the facts. Let it be the things that he actually did, right? Let those things be the reason why, if something does happen, you really try to expose him for something that he did, not something that he didn't do. Rochelle Bonner, hello, how you doing, sweetheart? Bro, where you from, says Juan Cruz. New York, Jamaica. Hey, I'm young. Do you know any way to start my life and get a good job? Says Keegan Willer. So I would say, what I would say is maybe try to focus on what it is that you love doing. You just said any way to start my life and get a good job. I think try to find your purpose, right? I think finding your purpose is infinitely more gratifying, more satisfying, more fulfilling than just getting a good job, right? Getting a good job, yeah, that's great. You get to pay your bills and everything like that. But then you have a lot of people who do have a good job that are just absolutely miserable and have this internal turmoil that is immeasurable, right? So what I would say, yes, find your passion, find something that you're passionate about, and just focus, just lock in, right? Lock in on it. You don't necessarily have to get paid for it. It's not something, money's not going to come overnight a lot of times, but find your passion, master your passion. And I'm sure, especially the times that we live in now, once you find your passion, you master your passion, you get to the point where you realize that there's a niche for you, right? But ultimately, I don't know, man. I think It's cool. Look, I think everybody should be able to take care of their bills and have money and be able to, do the things that they want to do. But at the same time, I've seen so many people that just put money first and they're just so soulless. And they have no morals, no moral compass. The only thing that matters is to them is money. Like the dude that they have now in the White House, right? And I'm not talking about the president, but I'm talking about the other guy, right? He's accusing so many other people of corruption right now, right, as we speak, right? He's accusing people of corruption and shutting down all sorts of ways that people who do work for the government are getting paid, and government programs that are put into place to sort of help people internationally, right? But for me, it's like this. I kind of look at it like this, right? Like the guy that's screaming corruption, and at the same time, it seems as if like, this person is just cutting costs there in order to increase the amount of money that he's getting, the amount of money that he's able to make, regulating things and then taking advantage of the things that he's regulating in order to maximize his profit, right? And sort of the way I look at it is like this, right? Because when people are saying, oh, yeah, he's a billionaire, but he doesn't want your money because he's a billionaire. I'm going to ask you guys a question, right? If you had somebody that was a drug addict, right? And this person does things, right? This person's an addict, right? So if you had a person and they're an addict, and let's see if I can paint a scenario, right? This is gonna sound crazy, but if you worked at a pharmacy, right? Would you just let the person, oh yeah, no, come to the back, go get your prescription? And would you just trust the person to come to the back in the pharmacy to, fill their own prescription and trust that they're only gonna take what it is that they need? Oh no, yeah, come to the back. I'm not gonna look at you. I'm just gonna go to the bathroom. Yeah, I'm gonna leave the addict here with all of the D words. I don't even know if I could really say it on here, but I did kind of slip up and say it once. But I'm gonna leave the addict here with all of these pills so that the addict could just, select just the one that they want, right? So when you kind of look at the situation, it's like, it's really a no-brainer. Like, the guy is not the richest man in the world because he wasn't greedy. He's not the richest man in the world because money wasn't important to him. He didn't happen to just stumble across, all of this money and all of this connections and all of that sort of stuff, because it wasn't important to him. Obviously, it's of the utmost importance to him. So much so that he's at least minimum $120 billion richer than the next person that's on the list of the richest people in the world. When it comes to money anyway. Because when it comes to morals, a lot of these people are broke, beyond broke. A lot of these people are bankrupt when it comes to morals, right? So I say that to say this. Sort of went off on a little tangent, but that's why it's important to really try to focus and hone in on your passion, right? And if you do get the money, who can you help with the money? Right? What's the point in hoarding all of this money? What lives can you impact with this money? Who can you help with this money? How can you make the world better than what it is when you came in with this money, right? So that's what I would say, man. Find your passion. Yeah, find balance as well. You know what I mean? You don't want to, find balance. Find balance. You don't want to be an extremist. You know what I mean? So yeah, hope that helps, Keegan. Appreciate you. Me and Jay-Z is from the same neck of the woods, Brooklyn, New York. My whole family from Brooklyn, New York. My first cousin is from Salt and Pepper. Big shout outs to Salt and Pepper. You know what's crazy? I actually was just talking to a female from Brooklyn maybe about an hour and some change ago, right? I just had to look at the time to see what time it was. But a little over an hour ago, I was talking to a girl from Brooklyn, and Yeah, we're supposed to meet up and go to a comedy club like next week. We'll see about that though. Maybe that'll happen, maybe not. Who knows? But yeah, Brooklyn's definitely changed big time. I'm hearing there's a lot of people from the Midwest that moved to Brooklyn. But of course, it's been gentrified, so it's not the same Brooklyn like how it used to be when you used to go to Brooklyn back in the day, and it was just a completely different culture back then. But yeah, shout outs to Brooklyn. Shout outs to Brooklyn. What is up, bro? What's the deal? Says the Rotten Apple. What's good, the Rotten Apple? I haven't seen you in eons, man. I do remember that name, though, Rotten Apple. How you been, Brody? Hope all is well with you. Hope all is well with you. But yeah, guys, back to what I was saying before. The lady Jane Doe, man, in this case, I don't believe her identity should be concealed. I believe that, you know how when you're an offender, your name is put on a register, like, you know what I mean? Like registered, right? Like you're a registered offender. People who are registered accusers, people who are registered for accusing people of doing things that they didn't do should also have their name placed somewhere as well, so that people could kind of know who it is to really stay away from, right? Because it's not something that's harmless. It is something that can really do a lot of damage. You know what I mean? But yeah, when you have certain people that's leading by example, i.e. the person that's head of the branch right now, let's just put it that way. I don't even want to mention his name. He doesn't lead by example. He doesn't follow any laws. You know what I mean? Guy just doesn't care about anything but how to make himself richer and the power that he could amass. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. He said, I've been here before. The Rotten Apple, yeah, bro, I drink every night. I can't remember what live stream I've ever been on. I'm sorry. Nah, I just remember that name. I just remember the name, the Rotten Apple. Yeah. I just remember the name, the Rotten Apple. I mean, usually I'm not always in the car when I'm doing this. Sometimes I'm doing this from home or whatever. But yeah, I do remember that name. He says I'm always drinking. Man, cut that a habit, man. You know something, bro? Recently, because I hadn't drank anything for since 2022, maybe 2022 or 2023, I forget, but it's been over 2 years, until like maybe 2.5 weeks ago. And ever since then, like, I'll have a little sip before I go to bed, and then the last few days I haven't had a sip, and then last night I had a sip. And it's like, yo, bro, what's happening here? I think I need to kind of ease up and not indulge so much in the drinking. So yeah, occasionally it's cool to have a sip, you know what I mean, but everything in moderation. You know what I mean? You don't want to be an extremist, and hopefully whatever it is that's bothering you, I don't know if something's bothering you or whatever it is, but whatever it is, bro, I hope you are able to come to terms with it. And I don't know if this is by choice, and I'm not calling you an alcoholic or anything. You understand what I'm saying? But I do hope that you're able to find peace, bro, and peace without the bottle. You know what I mean? I honestly can't stop. It's the only thing that helps me from being depressed. I think it's a matter of perspective, man. I think it's a matter of perspective. I think a lot of things that you may be directing your energy towards, right? And I think sometimes when people sort of use substances, whatever it is, it's almost as if they're trying to escape from something. You know what I mean? So whatever it is that you feel like you are trying to escape from, I hope at some point you come to terms with it and you realize that you're causing harm to yourself by drinking in order to avoid it. You know what I mean? Yeah. He says, no, dude, I'm a pure alcoholic. I honestly don't even care if I drink myself to... Whoa. Look, Rotten Apple, listen, man. Look, bro. I'm not going to necessarily read out that super chat. I mean, what you just sent in, but I think what you need to understand is this, man. Everybody is here for a reason, right? Like, you weren't given this experience by chance. And while you're having this experience, you want to experience a lot of the finer things in life, some of the most beautiful things that life has to offer. You know what I mean? So don't give up, man. Don't take that attitude towards it. Words are very powerful. You know what I mean? So if you are telling yourself these things, these are the things that you're sinking into your unconscious. So yeah, it's gonna kind of lead to having, you know, to you being depressed if this is the way how you're looking at life. You know what I mean? Because there's a host of things out here that's happening that is out of our control, right? But I hope you do find peace, man, and I hope you do, you know, get the proper help. But it first starts with you wanting to change, bro. That's it. That's where it ultimately starts at. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you all for tapping in with me. But yeah, big shout outs to you, Rotten Apple. Hope all does go well with your journey to recovery. I got faith in you. I think you're gonna be all right, but you have to think you're gonna be all right. You understand what I'm saying? You have to think you're gonna be okay, right? Like Bob Marley said, none but ourselves can free our mind. That bottle is just gonna keep you trapped in it, man. You don't want that. The world is so much bigger than the bottle. It's so much bigger than any addiction that you have. It's so much bigger than any problem that you have. And we were meant to have this experience to laugh and to experience joy. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you have to decide that you're to the point where you're tired of experiencing the things that you're experiencing and just make that change consciously. You know what I mean? Anyway, big up to you, my guy. Big ups to each and every single person that tapped in with us. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Yeah, more content coming soon. More live streams coming soon. Peace out, everybody. Thrifty, thank you so much, my darling. Thank you, Thrifty. Rotten Apple says, thanks, dude. Big up yourself, Rotten Apple. Thank you for tapping in, bro. You matter, brody.